Hello and welcome to Billogelt. Today we're going to be looking at the financial situation of Zimbabwe and the introduction of their new currency. If you're interested in learning more about these topics before I turn them into videos, you can visit my website billogelt.com. Zimbabwe has long been known as the country with a severe case of inflation, as its currency has inflated many times, with the country at one point printing a $1 trillion note. However, for the past decade, from 2014 to 2024, the country has been using something called bond notes, as well as adopting foreign currencies such as the South African rand and United States dollar. The bond notes were officially abandoned around 2018 or 2019 with the introduction of a new currency, the RTGS, or also known as the Zimbabwean dollar, which has been in use since then. The RTGS was primarily used electronically through POS and other popular services in the country, such as EcoCash and One Money. For a long time, this currency has been used to price goods and services. However, since Zimbabwe has been operating under a multi-currency system, businesses and individuals began placing prices of goods and services in USD or ZAR, which is the South African rand. Prices are cross-rated if someone wants to purchase a product or service priced in a different currency. For example, if you wanted to buy a pizza for 10 United States dollars and the seller accepts all forms of payment and currencies, you could make a purchase in either United States dollar, South African rand, or RTGS. Since one United States dollar is currently the same as 18 rand 59 cents at the time of recording this video, if you wanted to buy the pizza, you'd have to pay 18 rands 59 cents multiplied by 10, which is equals to 185 rands 90 cents. This is convenient if you're making the purchase in foreign currency, but when the RTGS came into the mix, it could get a bit complicated because of inflation. Get ready for this. One United States dollar at the time of recording is equal to 24,000 RTGS, so if you wanted to buy that $10 pizza, you'd have to pay the equivalent of 240,000 RTGS, which is an insane amount of money. I'm sure that makes you wonder, do Zimbabweans walk around carrying hundreds of thousands of cash on them to make these outrageous payments? Fortunately, no. As I mentioned earlier, the RTGS is mainly used electronically and through other payment systems and services that are available in the Zimbabwean nation. Zimbabwe has multiple services commonly used for making purchases in RTGS, with two particularly common ones. The first one is called ZimSwitch, which functions similarly to Visa and MasterCard systems but operates exclusively within Zimbabwe. However, it is not limited to RTGS transactions, as it can also facilitate USD transactions. The other service is EcoCash, a mobile payment system comparable to Apple Pay, Google Pay, or PayPal. This service is provided by Econet Wireless, one of Zimbabwe's largest companies, owned by the billionaire entrepreneur Strive Masiyiwa. EcoCash, as you might have guessed, only works for Econet Wireless customers. If you have an Econet SIM card, you can register for EcoCash and start using the service to make transactions in RTGS. Your phone or SIM card number serves as your account number, and the service, like ZimSwitch, is not limited to RTGS transactions, as you can also make transactions in USD with it. Besides these two, there is also One Money, a service provided by the government-owned company Net1, which is a rival to the Econet Wireless company. So the answer is no, Zimbabweans do not walk around carrying bags of money, and there are no unrealistic currency denominations like before. The last one they ever printed was the $100 bond note, and they never went further. However, inflation did continue to exist, which is why the government decided to introduce the Zimbabwean Gold currency. In case you're wondering how Zimbabweans make online transactions for subscriptions like Netflix, Spotify, and others, just like every other country, Zimbabwe has access to Visa and MasterCard platforms, which allow them to conduct payments online. The new Zimbabwean currency is known as Zimbabwean Gold, or ZiG, as it is backed by the gold reserves of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, the country's national bank. Not only does Zimbabwe get a new currency, but they also get a new bank governor known as John Mashaya Vanu, who takes over from John, whose term ends on the 30th of April 2024. Unlike previous currencies that Zimbabwe created, ZiG's value will be determined by the amount of gold the country has in its reserves. So, for example, if the nation has $1,000 worth of gold, they will print no more than $1,000 of paper currency. If they print, let's say, $1,001 worth of gold, they would have exceeded the actual amount, which would mean that that one extra dollar was printed out of thin air therefore causing inflation. This approach aims to maintain the currency's value and prevent inflation by ensuring that the amount of currency in circulation is directly linked to the country's gold reserves. The United States of America used to print its currency based on its gold reserves until 1971 when they abandoned that system. The United States dollar is now a fiat currency, meaning that its value is dependent on the trust and confidence of the people using it. However, this can lead to problems, as is evident with the United States current situation. The country is currently in $34 trillion worth of debt compared to 2020 when it had $20 trillion worth of debt. This means that the United States debt has increased by 14 trillion in the last 4 years. This is a concerning situation for the United States as it accrues millions of dollars in debt within seconds. So Zimbabwe hopes that this new currency will resolve the country's inflation problem and bring economic stability for its citizens, but only time will tell. While there is optimism, there are also uncertainties, considering that Zimbabwe has a history of economic challenges compounded by sanctions imposed over the past 2 decades. This is a complex situation that leaves the outcome uncertain. Nonetheless, understanding the current situation in Zimbabwe and the introduction of the Zimbabwean Gold currency sheds light on the path that the country is taking. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel, otherwise I'll not make nice videos like this for you. I'm joking, but please do subscribe.